Hey, welcome everybody to the Luddite Report. We got some shit going on in the world today, and it's going to be a fun one. Got my man Phil over here. We're going to be talking about a few hot topics that are going on right now. We're going to talk about the FTX and good old Sam Bankman-Fried, how he screwed a lot of people out of millions and billions. We're going to talk about the Chinese chip. We'll call it a chip controversy because right now it's a controversy because we banned them. It's a whole bunch of shit going on. And then we're going to talk about another hot topic, freedom of speech. That should be a good one. So, Phil, I'm going to throw it to you. Let's get into this. Let's talk about this crypto world and
Yeah, this FTX thing is super crazy, especially this character that just came out of dude. He came out of nowhere for me. The Sam Bankman-Fried guy, dude.
never heard of him
He's
before.
Me neither, but this
Like Bill
guy
Clinton's
is
heard of him, but Bill Clinton's heard of him.
dude. A lot of the elites heard of him. What was his name? A whole bunch of celebrities actually. I mean, they even have a stadium for FTX. And all that stuff already. I'm like, how do you have an arena named after you and all that stuff? They were able to climb that ladder so quick, and it's so crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna share an article real quick, the one that called my attention. Um, you should be able to see it now. So basically, it's this one's by The Guardian. Polyamory, penthouses, and plenty of loans inside the crazy world of FTX. I mean, look at this guy
Look at
right
this guy.
here.
He looks like a fucking party animal. I love. Look at the look
A
on his face.
savage, dude.
That's a guy who's got billions and he is banging Instagram models.
Dude,
That's
look
that
at
smile
that.
right
That's his
there.
penthouse in the Bahamas. This is where he's at right now. This is where he's at, getting his lashings right now from the media. I mean, that's now. If we talk about the interview that he had with what was his name, George Stephanopoulos or whatever his name was, dude, they're taking it so easy on this guy and what he did and what with people's money. So FTX was just for people that don't know, FTX was a crypto exchange. So essentially, if you wanted to purchase, let's say Bitcoin or Dogecoin or anything, you'd be able to purchase it through using FTX's platform. And apparently, the real issue here is that that money actually wasn't going towards what people's purchases, and it was actually going towards Sam Bankman-Friedman, Bankman-Fried,
Bankman
uh,
Freed. Bankman Freed.
Bankman-Fried. He's not freed.
He
He's not gonna
shouldn't be
get jailed
free.
either. But yeah, dude, he has so FTX is one of his companies, right? Where he's CEO, or so, and now he just stepped down as CEO. That's it. That's all he did recently. He stepped down as CEO, and they claimed Chapter 11 bankruptcy, I think it's called, but bankruptcy in general. And then he has this other company called Alameda, and Alameda, this is what was is a hedge fund, right? That he
Yep.
also owned at the same time. And
His
what was
girlfriend's
going?
also a huge partner, or I think she's the owner of it.
Yeah, she was actually managing. She was like the accountant or something of the sort, where she was actually the one that was pushing the money. So anyway, so she, yeah, like you were saying, she was pretty much taking control of the finances of that aspect. But yeah, what was
Well,
happening is that people wanted to buy assets using FTX's platform. Let's say you were like, I want to get $100 of Bitcoin. What was happening is that they're taking that $100 from people and then giving it straight to Alameda to pay off debt that they had, for assets that they had. Apparently, one of the big debts that they have is to AWS. It's multi millions of dollars for hosting their applications and their tech. So that's one of the biggest debtors there. They also owe Bloomberg a bunch of money because of the software, the financial software. And I forgot who's number one on the list. But basically, this was a very shady operation that was being ran by people that really were inexperienced. And for some reason, elites and people, real big decision makers and giant corporations, like the behavior that this guy was showing off. For instance, there's this famous story that's going around now that he was in a meeting with like Chase Bank and all these other big banks looking for additional funding. And during that meeting, this guy's playing League of Legends. This guy's playing a video game, League of Legends, and is looking for money for his company. I mean, this guy he gave zero. He literally did not care about other people's opinions. This guy is
It was like
egotistical.
he gave off that mad genius vibe, and it's sold to these fucking these these boomers who are all in these banks and Congress and all that. That's what he came off like another fucking Zuckerberg. Like I'm a young, I'm fucking like think about him. He's meeting presidents in fucking
Yeah,
sweatpants. Like no
yeah.
respect at all. No respect. He does like this guy was
It's
on his
that new
own level.
money. It's like that
Yeah,
new money look, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna dress in regular clothes like a regular person, but never mind that I'm a billionaire. Never mind that. I'm just gonna dress like y'all. And it's literally like a costume to masquerade that they're douchebags with
yeah.
a bunch of money.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
coming off as this very eccentric guy and everything. That was the whole like it was a part of a character I believe he was playing. But go ahead, Phil.
but yeah, dude. But the no, it's dude. The part of that character, you know where that came from? Amphetamines and nootropics that this guy was taking. Apparently, his that girl that was I forgot her name, but she's his ex girlfriend. She was the one. Apparently, she had tweeted that she laughs at people that don't take amphetamines and things of that nature or take drugs in order to stay focused at work. Like she frowned upon that.
Oh,
It's
the
all
chick from Alameda Capital.
yeah, Alameda Capital, yeah. So I mean, this thing, like I said, it's a huge dude. I don't even know what to say. They found
It's a
nootropics.
shit show because there's so many freaking different ways it goes. It goes to politicians, and then you have like so many different people are involved. There's so many shady shits going on. There was even this I think one transaction of $200 million in tokens before it all went down.
Yeah. So like right before, apparently right before, and the girl's name. Oh, here we go. See, she was the CEO of Alameda. Actually, she wasn't just control of the finances. She was the CEO. Her name is Caroline Ellison.
Yeah,
This
it
is
goes to the top, bro. That's why it's fucking the top.
yeah, dude, and yeah, dude. I don't even. Can we have to get into like the because so all right, so going back to what you were saying, so right before the bankruptcy had happened and everything, and they sent in auditors, that apparently there was a hack going on, and the hack that happened conveniently came from they must have known everything, all the passwords and everything, and they were able to dump I forget how many millions of dollars worth of assets, and literally do it and wipe the slate clean. They still haven't found out who it was. Apparently, this dude Sam Bankman, he was claiming that he was on the trails and he was right on them until they blocked him out and blocked him access. It looked more like an inside job for people trying to liquidate some money before it actually got frozen their assets and all that stuff. But yeah, it's real shady, dude. We have that. We have the hack. We have the donations that have been going on, which I would love for you to get into, or like the whole political aspect of it. Who his mother is. I mean, let's just get into like the thick of it. Like, all right, we
Let's get to
covered.
who is Sam Bankman-Fried first.
Do it.
Who
Educate
the
us.
fuck is Sam Bankman-Fried? He is a kid of privilege. If the lefties ever talk about a kid with white privilege, this would be fucking your poster boy. His mom's
100%.
his mom's an professor at Stanford University, I believe. And she's coming into the limelight now because of this whole situation. And she put out, I believe it was an essay or article. There's some paperwork about some of the mother's beliefs, and she is super left. She believes in no accountability. She believes in accountability is a what is it? How did she? I don't want to. She said it. I believe it's a Western. It's a Western way of thinking. Like hard work, determinate. Hard work pays off. That type of thing. She's like, so pretty much this kid was raised in a house where, like, oh, it's okay, Sam. Like those white mothers, they're like talking to him like they're adults when they're kids. Like, how? Tell me what's wrong. Oh, you don't want to do this, and that's the environment he was raised in. California, Stanford, super lefty mother, raised in a culture of freaking lefty politics. This is what you get. Get somebody who's educated, conniving, and does not take any responsibility for what he's done to the average person's life. People have lost their life savings in crypto right now because of him.
Yeah, that's how come I was before we even started. I think this might be even like a false flag situation to implement like regulations and all that
On
stuff.
crypto. Yeah, on
Yeah,
crypto. That's what's going around in the crypto community right now. Everybody's like, this is what the government's using. This pyramid scheme, like, oh yeah, see, there's people out here like Freed over here. He's ripping you off. It's a pyramid scheme.
yeah.
They've been talking about this for the longest. They want to do a Fed coin and all this shit. This is definitely, I believe, like you said, a false
Which is in
flag.
the work. It's in the works. It's on the whitehouse.gov already, website that they're in the works with that.
Yeah. So you need a stooge, and Sam Bankman-Fried is the perfect stooge. Think about it. The kid, he's. I mean, I watched some of his interview with the Wall Street Journal, and this guy, he's just like so fucking like carefree. You just lost billions of dollars. People, and this one guy called in. He's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do with the $2 million I've lost?" He's like, "I'm sorry." This guy just lost 2 million bucks in crypto, and then he's like, "I'm sorry." And it's not even like you lost it on your own accord. He couldn't even pull that shit out. It's just gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. And that's the fucked up thing. And this guy, Sam Bankman Fried, he's been living the life that we've all dreamed we can live. As you saw, you pulled up his house. This guy's having drug fueled orgies with beautiful women, sleeping with women at the top of freaking like this guy, an average guy with Jufro. He's over there pulling women like you could not believe. He is like he was living. And does seem a little fucked up in the head. Like he doesn't seem like he's 100% there. That's why I think
No, he doesn't.
he's a stooge. He's definitely a stooge for a bigger campaign that
This
the
is why I
government.
was saying this is more like a false flag thing because they knew that this guy could be controlled. This guy looks like a puppet. They're like, here, just it's almost like that movie 300. The guy with the shield and the fucked up back and everything. He wanted to join, the guys in arms, and then instead he went to the other side, and the other side's like, here, we're gonna give you a bunch of women and money,
Yeah, yeah,
and you just have to fucking be the biggest traitor of all time. That's literally what this character is because this guy's fucking ugly as sin.
yeah, yeah, dude. That's exactly it. He's obviously a little fucking. I don't know. He's out there, bro. I don't even know like what you call somebody like him. Like I just watch him talk. I'm like, is he like? I'm like, he doesn't seem like a normal person. He's kind of like that fucking Zuckerberg type of guy. You know, like you seem like he might be an android or something. You know, he's out there.
Socially awkward for sure.
Yeah,
In that interview, you could see him repeating the questions to himself and like, you know, like physically moving his mouth before he speaks. Like it's too much going on. Like I don't know. It's he. I don't know.
and like was it you said before is his girl from Alameda? She was like, I laugh at people who don't take amphetamines.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
so this is
He's
that culture. I mean, honestly, I see it now. Like, I mean, sure you know about it, going to college and all that. The kids in college, they fucking take amphetamines, stay up and cram all night. You know, like
a
that's a
hundred
culture.
percent,
And
a
then think
hundred
about it,
percent.
in the freaking crypto slash just in the internet world, anybody who's making it their living, you're gonna be up all night fucking coding. You're gonna be up all night trading. You're gonna doing all like there's people out there doing shit like look at Neo from the Matrix, right? The guy's a
Yeah.
hermit. He's caffeinated, highly caffeinated, going all night doing shit, trying to freaking break into this, break into that. You know, just computer nerds. That's their fucking world. And Sam Bankman-Fried is the poster child of that world.
Yeah, I'm gonna read to you the Twitter post that this the CEO, the ex-girlfriend of Sam
Oh,
Bankman-Fried.
wait, before you read, after you read this one, do me a favor. Pull
Yeah.
up Maxine Waters' Twitter feed, because she just sent out a Twitter feed about him coming to Congress and talking about this. But just this shows how much sway this man has in the political sphere. Go ahead.
Hold on, I'm pulling up Maxine Waters. I didn't even know who this was until like 2 seconds ago.
She's a congresswoman from California.
Oh my goodness. The Committee of Financial.
And there's when he came before Congress not too long ago, she like gave him a wink and a blew him a kiss and shit while he was like as he was about to come in or something like that.
Dude,
And
what?
yeah, yeah, she loves this guy. I mean, she's a Democrat. But
Dude, I don't get it, man. So yeah, so here the ex CEO, or maybe she's probably still the CEO of Alameda Research, the other company Sam Bankman-Fried had, is nothing like regular amphetamine use to make you appreciate how dumb a lot of normal, non-medicated human experience is. This is a tweet from 2021.
oh,
Yeah, yeah, she's just very nonchalant about it. Like, hey, this is what I do, and it is what it is. I don't know if you can see it
yep.
here. Yeah, nothing like regular amphetamine. I mean, these people they really don't care about the average person, and what and what they really. Dude, how can you speak about these things? But yeah, I'm gonna pull up the Maxine Freed,
Maxine Waters. But yeah, but
Maxine
you
Waters.
look, this
Sorry.
was just 2021. This is how these people think,
They
man.
were
They're
operating.
highly
This is
medicated.
peak. This is a peak evaluation for them too. So they were cashing in a bunch of money, and people were throwing the money at them. Tom Brady, that guy from what's that called? The deal or no deal, not deal or no deal, but whether you're looking for an investment or whatever.
Not Mark Cuban?
No, it's the same show. It's the guy that's an asshole. That's like the tech guy.
Is it the bald
Or
dude?
yeah, yeah, the one that sits in the middle.
Yeah, I forget his name.
Yeah, I forgot his name
That's a
too.
good
But
show. That's a good show. I like watching it
Shark
sometimes.
Tank. Okay.
Shark Tanks. Mark Cuban and his whole crew.
Yeah, I think this is the tweet you're talking to, right? Talking
Yeah,
about right
Maxine
here.
Waters. She's like, company. Oh, yep, yep. That's it right there.
Here, and I'm gonna read it off. Sam Bankman-Fried from FTX. That's his Twitter handle. We appreciate that you've been candid in your discussions about what happened at FTX. Your willingness to talk to the public will help the company's customers, investors, and others. To that end, we would welcome your participation in our hearing on the 13th. Oh my goodness! Look at the first.
Imagine if she sent Trump like a subpoena to come testify before Congress.
Dude,
Like,
check this.
traitor,
You are as
traitor, white
corrupt as they
supremacist,
are.
come now or face jail. That would be Trump.
Wow,
And
dude. And
Trump
you know,
hasn't ripped.
this is
It's some
crazy, dude.
talking about handling somebody with kid gloves right there. It's sweetening them up. We will really appreciate it if you. We like your openness about everything that's going on. No, this is like the Lehman Brothers shit back in the whole banking crash.
Yeah, Enron and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, this is just like it. And they're treating him with kid gloves. And that's because he fucking donated he's the second biggest Democrat donor behind good old George Soros. The second. So that man was paying for his fucking position. That's like we were saying before. It's really weird. And that money that went to the Republicans, I believe that was through his partner. It wasn't through Freed. It was through his partner who also donated to some Republicans. But when you get down to it, it was like night and day. It was like almost a 4 or 5% difference from what went to Republicans and then went to Democrats. And as we've seen and we spoke about, it only takes a little bit of money in certain races to really flip a district. That's all
Yeah,
it takes.
that's literally you could do the voter harvesting. You can have more people go to more neighborhoods to get more voting ballots, right? For the
Yeah.
voting and all that stuff. So they pay. I mean, it's a temporary seasonal job. I mean, people are right now. They're like, hey, I'd rather do that, get a quick buck. But you know what's the real thing? So beyond the donations, how about when the other one of the companies that he acquired on the low is a company called Deck. This is a startup firm that's designed to provide Democratic campaigns with predictive analytics and voter targeting capabilities. He purchased that on the low. Nobody's talking about this.
No, I
Nobody's
haven't heard
really.
anything about it until now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically, he bought this company, Deck, and this is basically like one of those Cambridge Analytica companies where they gather data, they come up with predictive analytics, and this is specifically used by political parties, mainly the Democratic Party. So this guy, I mean, this guy really,
This reeks to holy hell.
dude. And then now that we brought up the tweet from this lady over here, I mean,
And I told you, there's video of her, because he testified in front of Congress, her blowing him a fucking like kiss and like treating, like like. And she hates white people. Just remember that she hates Mad Maxine hates white, but that just shows he's been greasing her fucking filthy palms.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
exactly what it is.
This
Yep.
is yeah. So this is so not only was he donating actual physical cash, but then he was actually taking strategic moves to purchase companies to give them even more leverage, the DNC. And it gets even crazier because his mother, his family is deeply connected with the Democratic Party infrastructure. Um, his mother, Barbara Freed, leads a group named Mind the Gap, a California-based group that funnels massive amounts of money to the Democratic campaigns. So that just goes to tell you that, okay, Bankman-Fried not only donated a bunch of his own money, which is not even his own money. You got to think about it. This is money that he was given.
Yeah, yeah, he
Uh,
was given.
he was given this money from investors, and he was literally investing that into the Democratic Party. Then he used that to purchase. He used $5 million to purchase this company named Deck that is going to be used by the Democratic Party. And then his mother has a comp. I mean, what? I mean, what is going on here? Like, dude, like,
And he's on the stage with Bill Clinton and all these people. I never saw him near a Republican. Never.
yeah, yeah. This is
I never seen it.
and this goes to
It is
to one.
Silicon Valley and their corruption, and this shows you how like Twitter and all those like companies, they all swing left. It's they all swing left. Silicon
Yes.
Valley is left,
Yeah, so
and
right
this
here,
shows.
38 million is how much he actually donated to political campaigns
Can
for
you
the
get
midterm.
to Republicans? I believe his co-owner or the co yeah the other guy donated to Republicans, I believe. And it wasn't 38 was it million? I believe it's like maybe a few million or something like that.
38, no, I'm talking about donated to political campaigns and groups during the midterm election. About 27 million went to Protect Our Future PAC, a political action committee dedicated to boosting candidates who would push forward anti-pandemic policies according to Federal Election Commission data.
Yeah, he
So
was all for he was very altruistic. He was very for like, oh, we're trying to prevent all this. So he was like, I guess scared of the whole pandemic or whatever. He was very big into pandemic awareness too. That was another like thing for him. And that seems like somebody with a little mental disorder.
dude, his
They would they
brother
would they
even
would get
donated a
hung
bunch
up
of
over the
money.
pandemic.
His brother contributed $361,000 to the Democratic campaigns and causes over the last several years, funding the group Guardians Against Pandemics.
Yep. See,
I mean, this whole family is just,
they're super left.
yeah,
This is a
they use their money to really,
but
not
I
only that,
never
but
like I bet.
you can see what these people are doing though, because they're like, okay, in order for us to play at this caliber and level in the United States as a, as a company in general, and you want to really be up there, you got to play with the politicians,
Oh
and
yeah, definitely.
they're playing, and you have to pick a side. It's like you got to be either red or you got to be blue, and right now the power players are the blue.
Actually, no. A lot of these like big players, they don't pick sides. They fund both sides because they like, all right, if you win, I want to be able to,
I mean, this guy right here
fund
was
both
really
sides.
heavily
But
Democrat,
now and now it's become like one-sided recently, and I think that's what now we're seeing like the whole disconnect in society because we see one message getting amplified, one way of thought getting amplified, and everybody's like, wait a second, this is a little weird. Like all social media companies are banning anything that's a you could dead like let's call it dead naming. You call a trans person their former name. You get banned for that.
yeah, basically
That's a left.
speech.
That's a left. That's a left leaning worldview on it. Because a conservative, like I will not, adhere to that worldview. So you're just saying fuck the conservative worldview, even if it could be skewed. It can be at times, but it just goes one way.
But you need opposing views for things to
You
go
need
right.
opposing views. That's
You can't
like
go to left and you can't go to right, right? You need
that.
pressure from both sides in order to go in a straight line, right? So
You see,
that's what
like
we're
when these
trying to do.
lefties talk about, oh, diversity breeds progress, right? But they don't talk about diversity of thought and opinion. They talk about diversity of skin. They want the same fucking thought and opinion. They don't want you to think differently. That's why if anybody, let's say like Candace Owens, uh, freaking, who's that guy? Larry, what's his name? Guy who ran for governor, freaking in California.
Newsom?
No, he ran against Newsom recently. Was it Larry, the black dude? But yeah, they
I
called
don't know.
him the yeah, they called him the black face of white supremacy. And this is a guy who's been
What
doing
the?
radio for a conservative black guy. They call him every name in the book, like that's what they do. They don't want diversity of thought. Even Herschel Walker, everybody's freaking like
So
everybody's
check.
hero.
Yeah, check this out. Big tech goes big on lobbying efforts. This is numbers from 2021. It's
Yeah,
from the site Statistica. Look, Facebook 20.1 million, Amazon 19.3 million, 10.2 million Microsoft. I mean, look at these
down in
huge.
Florida, DeSantis he banned Facebook from lobbying down there. DeSantis banned it down in Florida. He's like we're banning Zuckerbucks and any campaigns down there. And then now you see the election, he won by 20 points. That's how like this big money coming in from the tech field, especially in Silicon Valley. It's fucking swaying the elections in this country.
Yeah.
And
And
as
this
we're
goes
like
to,
as we're pointing out, it's all liberal. They're all fucking left, and I will say they're pretty fucking close to being communists too.
well, they're doing a good job. They're doing
Yeah,
a
yeah,
very good
hey,
job
hey,
of what they're doing.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. You know what?
And they're fighting technically within the bounds of the law. They're not ethical, but it's lawful. You know what I mean? And I think the other side needs to start playing with the same, because it's the same rules for everybody, right?
It's a great,
Uh,
great.
yeah. So, but this also goes to the other topic that we were going to cover, which is like Twitter and the freedom of speech thing, right? So now we have Elon Musk, who recently what's being called now the Twitter files. So the Twitter files, the first set of them were dropped. What was it on December 1st? I think it dropped, and then December 2nd. I think was the
Yeah, it was the
first.
last couple days. It's been
Yeah, December.
Tahibi's
Today
been
was the second
Matt
day.
Tahibi's been dropping it.
Yeah, today was the second day, and pretty much it talks about how the Biden team, well, in the beginning, it talks about the Biden team explicitly asking, with dialogue going back and forth with high ups at Twitter, in order to, censor certain people, certain topics, and then actually giving links to specific posts that should be taken down. And then there's even more being uncovered, especially about the Hunter Biden laptop that was found. Like people were being banned and being suppressed from talking about those particular topics. So this is what's happening when social media platforms are extremely leaning towards one ideology, and now you have this guy with crazy amounts of money and can literally take a $44 billion hit just to show the public what's going on behind the scenes. Like I feel like this guy took 44 billion. Yeah, he's gonna make it back and then some, but he took 44 billion just to highlight a problem that exists currently. So like, I don't know, man. What do you think about that? What do you think about what's going on? The Twitter files.
I mean, Elon said he's doing this for the good of humanity because he sees what this one worldview being pushed on the public is doing to the public. Is causing a lot of rift with people, and then it's swaying elections. It's just causing so much problems, and you're seeing one political party who has weaponized it, the Democratic Party. Even though, like I was, you were saying before that Biden's campaign reached out, and I will also have to say the Trump team also used it, trying to suppress certain people from speaking of the opposite, political thought.
Yeah.
I don't like any of it. I don't suppress anybody. You're not even Kanye West. Like, do not. I don't care if you're the most racist, vile piece of shit. Say what you say, and then you, I, and the rest of the people could fucking turn our heads in disgust and walk the fuck away and not listen to you. And you could be there yelling to yourself or tweeting
Yeah.
to yourself. There's a block button, there's a mute button. You don't need it. Like, don't give me this bullshit.
You
Like
don't need
the
to be spoon-fed information. Like
no,
nobody should be telling you what you should and should not. Like tech
just
companies should not be tailoring the information at all.
no. I mean, look. I mean, look how the fucking left went off because Elon bought it. Oh, it's gonna be a haven for hate speech. Black people are gonna be in danger now. The N word has gone up a million times. Like,
This guy.
shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Black people never needed you over here protecting them before. Black people can protect themselves. I'm sure black people are a lot tougher than these lily white fucking liberals give them credit for. Over here, like they can't hear. So, like if somebody says a cruel word, get the fuck out of here, and that's their crutch. They use hate speech, and they like it's gonna cause harm to minorities. Always. That's their gate. Like the minorities are gonna be, like stop. Like we all know what you guys doing. You guys had your hand in the honey pot. You guys had your hand on the fucking controls for so long. You were controlling speech. Now you lost it. And you see by the attacks on Elon. I sent you that article about the attorney general in New York who's taking her war on free speech. Rumble is currently suing.
Rumble and law professor Sue. Let me open this up for you.
Yeah, Rumble is suing New York because New York is attacking freedom of speech. Good old Letitia James, the chick who was caught 4 years ago saying we're gonna investigate Donald Trump, and she's still doing it. She can't find anything on him, but she's gonna keep on investigating him. Good, there she is. Look at that beautiful face.
Jesus, she looks
Yeah,
like
that looks
a
like. Doesn't
like an
that look like a?
Ewok.
Mm,
Looks like an Ewok from Star Wars, dude. It's horrible.
bro, she's the most like vindictive bitch I've ever seen. Like she's like people like she has lawyers that are quitting because there's nothing they can find on Trump, and she's gonna keep on bringing people in until they find something. But other than that, what she's doing, their free speech law is if whatever they deem under their freaking terms, New York State, whatever they deem is hate speech or harmful content or what else do they like to use? Misinformation or disinformation. What they're doing is they'll fine you $1,000 per incident, and then they will fine you $1,000 per day that you keep it up there. That's what they're trying to do.
All right. Well, that's the first
What's hate
half.
speech? What's misinformation? It's and you know what their answer is? It's what we consider to be hate speech. It's like what the government considers to be misinformation.
That's
That
crazy.
yeah. Tell me Big Brother is watching, Phil. Orwell was right. And right now, what we're saying, you know what? I don't care if they're the freaking watch. I mean, I know that we're up there. They are watching us, but we got to speak out because you know what? They don't want it, and whatever they don't want, that's got to be the way to go. It's got to be the way to go, man. Government only has the power we grant them, and what we have right now is they have the tools to manipulate us. They have the tools to censor our speech. They have the tools to deperson us. They don't even have to let you fly. They put you on a no-fly list if they want. You know, it's insane. Right now, we are on the cusp of a dystopian future, and it's kind of fucking scary.
All right, and we're back, and now I'm gonna share some of the Twitter files, the thread that was been posted by Matt Taibbi. He's a journalist formerly for Rolling Stone, and now he's just an independent, as I have it, understand it.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
on
here we go.
Substack. He's on Substack now. If you want his stuff, you got to go to Substack, and it's
Him,
well
Glenn
worth it.
Greenwald, a bunch of guys now are on Substack. So here's the beginning of the Twitter file thread. Here's the handle if you guys want to check it out for yourself. And here starts the number 8 is really where the meat and potatoes are. Is by 2020, requests from connected actors to delete tweets were routine. One executive would write to another, and more to review from the Biden team. They would reply, "We would come back handled." So these are some examples of the emails that came back. Handled these right here. You can see it. Right, that's the response. Handled these from these Twitter executives. And then over here you have a particular,
And all
profiles.
this from the Biden campaign. It was the Hunter Biden laptop that they were trying to fucking censor, and Joe
Yeah.
Biden's connections to Ukraine and China.
Yeah, here we go. So both parties had access to these tools. For instance, in 2020, requests from both the Trump White House and the Biden campaign were received and honored. However, then it talks about the lopsidedness within the company of how many people were Democratic as opposed to Republican and all that. So they were more left leaning.
And that affects the bipartisanship of fucking over freedom of speech right here.
Yeah.
So that shows how it was skewed. Twitter's a far left company, so obviously they're gonna amplify the voices on the left and the far right. You know, as we've seen from all the bans fucking just ban you, or was it what they call a shadow banning or deboosting or whatever they want to call it. It was just pretty much silencing people with different opinions.
Yeah, and the most came in when they started doing this whole Hunter Biden laptop story. That's when they really started sniping people away. And you can see here one particular instance, Callie McKenney was locked out of her account for tweeting about the story, um, talking about the Hunter Biden laptop, and
And she
then
was the White House press secretary.
yeah, and she was inquiring about it. She wasn't even aggressive about it. She right here, you can see, hi team, are you able to take a closer look here? You know, being very professional about it. Even though that really doesn't matter. Just the fact that, you know, people just were able to censor a particular individual that works in government for a very important story. And that would have been something that swayed the election, right?
A
Like
lot,
if
yeah, it would have. It would have. A lot of people said if you knew about Joe Biden's business connections through his son in Ukraine through Burisma. Burisma is, I believe, a gas company, maybe oil too, but they're an energy company in Ukraine. Hunter Biden had a pretty much no-show job there, where he was getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a month to do nothing, to fuck hookers and snort coke in Ukraine. That that right there is a no-show job. The mob used to do that. And you want to know what happened to the mob when they did that? They fucking went to jail for racketeering. That's
yeah.
exactly what that is. That's racketeering.
Hmm.
And Joe Biden is caught on camera at the World Economic, I believe it's the forum. Is like I think what they like to call was like it was recorded. They didn't know it was recording, and he was talking about the lawyer who was investigating Burisma, the company in which his son worked, and he told the current Prime Minister Viktor Shokin of Ukraine before we got Zelensky in there. It was Shokin. He was like, I told him I will withhold was it, $1 or $2 billion and whatever in aid if you don't fire this lawyer. And he's like, by goddamn, he's like, well, whatever he says. He's like, holy hell, he fired him, all right. And the lawyer was fired, and he fled Ukraine. He fled Ukraine after that. That just goes to show you the corruption of Ukraine. He's like, if you know the government's after you over there, you're gonna get got, and that's
Well, did you
happened.
just see the most recent thing that the Ukrainian government banned the Lutheran Church?
Yeah, because it's Russian connected.
Yeah, they banned the Lutheran Church, but they allowed the I forgot what the other one is, the Asamovians thing or whatever, where they actually do like blood rituals and all that stuff. I don't know. It's just bizarre what's going on over there. In
Yeah. They're holding up democratic values very well, right? Like they're, I mean, understanding you're in war, loose lips sink ships. You don't want any dissenting voices, because it could fuck with public trust and support for the war. I understand that. I understand it.
yeah, this is
But I hate the people, especially on the left, that hold the Ukraine up as a standard bearer of fucking freedom to the West. No, they're not. It's one of the most corrupt countries in the world.
oh yeah.
It's insane. It's insane that people are just so like in this one track fucking frame of mind. Like if the right says it, it must be wrong, and like my size, it must be right. No, no, you can be led astray. You can be led astray by anybody.
Yeah, you have to be open to other people's opinions. I mean, that's you have to have discourse with others in order to
Yeah,
come up with a valuable to know if whether what you're saying is right or not. Because if you always look at things through one lens, you're always going to be right, right?
there's plenty of times where I've been so hard headed, and I'm like, I'm fucking right, and then when somebody's like, I'm like, all right, like you're right, I'm fucking wrong, You got to see from a different lens, and they don't want that different lens. They want
Yeah,
a
that whole
one lens.
diversity is only applicable to skin and gender, but they don't, not to thought.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. But yeah, so
A
that
little. It's a lot.
nah, it's real crazy. It's just now
Because
I'm kind of it's kind of being normalized though. Like I'm being normalized to all this, and it's bad. Just to think about it, like imagine the people that are growing up during this time period. These people are literally being molded.
brainwashed, as we
Mo-
were, as we were by the Carnegie and Rockefeller Foundation. Thank you.
Yeah, but this generation is like they're thinking it's okay to behave a certain way, or like if you behave a certain way, it's okay. Like, and people that are seeking attention. I mean, this is one way to seek attention, right? Is with this whole like gender fluidity
I want to
thing.
fit in. I want to fit in. All the
Yeah,
outcasts. Like, before they used to just stay in their rooms and play video games. Now they're like, I could fit in with a crowd, the LGBTQ whatever crowd. I could chop off my dick and I could become a woman, and I will be accepted and glorified by this
yeah.
society. That's
Mutilation
what.
of the body and all that stuff, and
Yeah,
doctors profiting off of this stuff, and it's really like also a mental health crisis.
it's
That's
it's another form of eugenics that's going on right now. It really
a
is.
hundred percent.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
another form of eugenics. They're really experimenting on young children and the minds of young children through all this propaganda that they like to spew out through Disney, through fucking regular TV, like this whole
Balenciaga.
Dude, this shit went that Balenciaga shit went back years. You thought it was just one fucking thing. No, it goes back years, and they're dropping clues of court cases about child pedophilia and all this,
Yeah,
and
dude, it's
they had the book opened up to that fucking like that court fucking docket. Like these people have been doing it right in front of our face, and this is not new. This is not new. This like that's when people are like, oh, this like no, we're just catching this, and we're
yeah, yeah.
already late. We're already late to the game.
Well,
We're
now there's
already late
social
to the game.
media, right? And now people could vocalize,
Yeah,
their fears and things of that nature.
yeah. I mean, think about it. I mean, Washington D.C. was set up by Freemasons and everything. You got all these freaking different angles. I mean, the occult has been a major part of human advancement. It has been a major part. You go back all the way to like Mesopotamia. The occult has been a big part of it. The same thing. We go to like Nazi Germany. I mean, look at Hitler and all of them. They were very big into the occult. The Nazis were huge into it. Aleister Crowley. They loved Aleister Crowley. And you ever want to do a deep dive into that? That's some sick shit.
Dude, that
And
Sam Bankman guy reminded me of like Hitler a little bit with like the amphetamines and all that stuff, and him being
yes,
on meth
yes,
and all that
that
stuff, and
that
that whole shaking and that whole like charisma and everybody loving him because he would just do crazy shit. They were like, "Oh, this guy has to be a genius, all right?" And he's just up on freaking meth the whole time.
I mean,
Crazy.
that's. I mean, honestly, that's a. I believe it's a rich man's advantage right there because they all know like these methamphetamines and shit like that. They can get them prescribed easily from their doctors. What's that pill called? I don't even know what the pills are called. Their kids can easily get it, right? Help me out here,
Adderall?
Phil. Yeah, Adderall.
Yeah, and they actually saw on Sam Bankman-Friedman's desk a drug called MSAM or something like that. Uh, yeah, MSAM transdermal. It's actually, yeah, it's a patch that you put on.
Adderall patch.
It's like an antidepressant.
It's an
Uh,
upper. It's an upper.
it can improve your mood and feelings of well-being. So it's like a dermal thing. And apparently this guy was like a vegan too, because I think it impacted all that stuff from happening. It's just crazy, dude. Like the things that are going on with.
Like they said, the law. I mean, he's not gonna fucking get. He's not. Nothing's gonna
He's
happen
like
to him.
not even a slap on the wrist. I mean, he's getting invited to the freaking political events already, and he's being. They're putting him in the limelight because to make this like almost like a redemption story. Like this guy, because
His girl might take the fall for it because I think he did try to throw her under the bus.
and she's been silent the whole time, and this guy's been very vocal. He's interesting because he's getting ahead of it. He's trying to get ahead of it by being like taking the the lashings and all that stuff, but they're giving to him a very cushy thing, even
And
though he
that's
lost
because of the
billions of
money
people's
he's
money.
given.
The money that he's given, which was never his money to begin with, but the fact that his decision was to give it to them and not to anybody else, which is they're like, okay, this we
Like, oh,
can
you're
talk
good, you're
business on
good.
you.
And Max, I mean, right now the Democrats are still ahead of in control of Congress. That's why she sent that out. But Republicans are going to be back in control as of January. Let's see if they touch us because right now they have their whole plate full. This is why I'm saying I don't think anything's going to happen. They want to let's say believe they want to bring up impeach Biden. They want to investigate January 6th. What else do they want to do? Something with like they want to do a pandemic. They want to look into Fauci. So honestly, they got this is probably the least thing the Republicans even care about right now. This is the least thing right now. What they're caring about is getting revenge. So that's why Bankman-Fried, he might just walk. It's gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, he took down so many fucking alternate like crypto platforms with him. Like, how many? I think I saw like 3 other companies went under because of FTX.
Yeah, I think Binance was one of them. I think that was one of the companies, one of the companies that wanted to buy him. I think it was like, was it Binance that wanted to buy them, or was it CoinDesk that wanted to buy them? I don't know, but yeah, basically, the amount of money that they controlled and all that stuff, it had a domino effect. And not only that, but because of that bankruptcy, a lot of cryptocurrencies has gone down.
Yeah,
It's taken a dip.
except Dogecoin, except Doge, baby, Doge to the moon.
But the whole thing is like what I warn people about when it comes to crypto is that you really aren't owning anything in terms of a company's. You're not owning a piece of a company like in you do in stocks, right? Like that would be a publicly traded company. They have a balance sheet. You could potentially get a dividend from it. Like it's
But what is our current currency though? Like, what is it? I mean, what is it backed by? Petrodollar, right? Like right now, like if people are invested in currencies,
that's
like
fine. But the thing is that the currency is you have a government behind it, right? When it comes to these cryptos, there's no government entity
and
that's
that's the allure of it. It's like
there's
government.
no war behind it. There's
No
no
allure. That's
military.
no,
I
not
get
war.
it.
Of the
No,
allure.
but what I'm saying is that when you have a currency, right? It's you're basically representing a nation. This nation can literally wipe out another nation. You know what I'm saying? And just they have trade, they have import of goods and all that stuff. Like money is like a representation of a nation. Is how I see it. You know what I mean?
The thing is, I believe with crypto is like not enough places accept it yet, but you're starting to see it like with El Salvador, I believe.
Yeah. Well, they took a major hit because of that Bitcoin.
They did, but think about it. They might take a loss up front, but you might be freaking the
No, they don't.
pioneer within like another few years. Because think about it, a lot of people, look, especially with the IRS right now, with the government's like, what you gotta, um, what is it, you gotta Zelle and all that. Any
Yeah.
transactions over $600, you gotta tell the IRS now. If you don't, you're fucked, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I think not even over like if you just do like let's say 20 or whatever transactions and it equals over that, you better freaking if it
Yeah.
goes over 600, you got to tell the IRS
You got to
now.
report it. Yeah. These
Yeah,
companies are obliged to report it as well. You're allowed
but
to
like
use Zelle though. Zelle is the only exception.
so you see that like they're cracking down on like any ways that they can't get any money. So crypto was one, and that was the allure of crypto. It's like, oh, fuck the government, They don't know if I'm like transferring this and that. I have a currency that's it's not the American dollar. It could be used anywhere in the world. I could just go to my wallet and freaking, you
Yeah.
know,
But this is
it's
why
simple.
I like crypto though that's backed by fiat currency. It's almost something representative of what we used to have, which is something backed by the gold that we used to have in our country. So the gold standard. So with fiat cryptocurrency, it's the company that has this crypto. They only allow enough coins that are covered and backed by the physical asset. So they have some that are with the American dollar. They have some that are with gold and silver, and those I'm more for because they're called stable coin actually.
Yeah, yeah, the stable coins.
Yeah, the stable coins that I'm for because of what you're talking about, right? Like you have the convenience of a cryptocurrency, but you have the liquidity of the actual currency backing it, right? There's no fluctuation or nothing. It basically fluctuates as that one currency fluctuates. So it's like a one-to-one representation of something that exists in real life, which I think is a good replacement for now, right? It's a safe replacement right now. A one-to-one replacement, just a digital to the physical, right? Like $1 over here, we put it away because you have it here. Until you spend it, then we're gonna give that person that dollar. You know what I mean? Like I'm with that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like the whole concept of crypto. It's like I really do. Like honestly, I don't think like you said
Blockchain,
this might be an old
blockchain. We have to understand crypto is the
blockchain
currency.
technology. Yeah.
Blockchain technology is the real revolution.
Yes, it is.
Blockchain is the real revolution behind the Web 3.0. Blockchain, if we want to get into it, blockchain is the revolutionary thing for the next generations. This is gonna get away from the freedom of speech problem that we have. People getting hacked. All that is gonna go away if we adopt a blockchain, and restructure the current internet to support it. Because right now, we don't support it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the fucking future. Definitely is. I mean, this blockchain chain technology is like, I mean, think about it. You're doing everything with it. Like these freaking what's the other thing? Like the pictures,
NFTs.
NFTs and all that. I mean, it's definitely revolutionary, and the government's trying to play catch up.
Yeah,
And how and
and the
how they're
tech
gonna go through.
companies. How are the tech companies? Because now the tech companies, they have to redo everything. This will be a huge shift among who are the power players. So like right now, like one of the biggest power players in terms of like networking equipment is Cisco. If Cisco
Mhm.
doesn't have the hardware to support and the software to support this Web 3.0 revolution, there's going to be another company that comes in. And all that's going to be suppressed by lobbying. And we just saw that the big tech companies are the biggest lobbyists. So if they're afraid of this whole Web 3.0 and their profit margins and all that stuff and the shift of technology and research that they've been doing, which is on the old Web 2.0 stuff, this revolution is going to be, it's going to take a while for it to come through until it becomes like a mandate by, the federal government.
It's what it's working towards, and it looks like it's getting messy right now with the tech companies. Mass layoffs and everything. It's looks like a big restructuring is going on as like in front of our eyes.
Yeah, but the companies themselves are staying the same. It's the layperson. It's the proletariats are fine. The
Hmm.
I mean the
The
bourgeoisie.
bourgeoisie.
The bourgeoisie is fine. It's the proletariats that are getting screwed over. You know what I mean? People fighting over for scraps right now. You know what I mean? And that's really what you're seeing on the news is really the people fighting for scraps. The people at the top are not fighting for anything. They're living it up. Like Elon Musk. Elon Musk is doing this all for fun. He has so much money. I mean, it's laughable. It's laughable.
I mean that. I mean, I think this is a good segue to get to the chip ban, or the whole chip controversy,
Oh,
as I like to call it, because it's a controversy.
it is, and you're right. It actually ties into this whole blockchain stuff because that has to do with having the actual physical architecture, right? And if you don't have the processing power to run these things, to do blockchain, to run these, to do crypto mining. Like China was huge in crypto mining, and until I forgot what happened, and they stopped it. They banned
I think
the
they
crypto
banned it,
mining.
right?
They banned the crypto mining companies. Apparently, it was like an energy crisis or whatever. I forgot how they were. But yeah, but the U.S. is banning chips that are very that are going to be used for AI essentially, right? For conducting these huge models because it requires a lot of computational power and it even limits China. So it limits China's ability to innovate in the AI space. If you don't have
This is what I wanted you to break down to me, because I was trying to like go over it, and it's just fucking like, all right, I understand it. Like these chips are like for it's not for like your average phone or whatever. It's for
no, no.
semiconductors and all that. Can you just tell me the application of the like the big fucking products that really need these chips to run?
Yeah, so like when we talk about like our phones and stuff, like they run on megahertz, gigahertz, right? There's chips that run at teraflops. Teraflops is like a whole nother level of instructions per second. You know what I mean? So you need to run all these things because when it comes to AI, it's predictive. In order to come to prediction, like for instance, like you're a dad, you have to think about okay, if my kid's gonna be in this room, I have to make sure this glass over here has a lid on it because if not, he can knock it over. I have to make sure that the if there's a candle over there that he doesn't knock that over. You have to put all these things in your mind. You have to run all these scenarios, right? But that's you just in one room. What a computer is doing is it's running through every single possible scenario exhaustively. So it's some crazy factorial number, like some number that is going to be hard to calculate. But it has to run all these instructions and go through all those steps, right, to build these models. So it needs these chips in order to do it in an efficient way. If not, it's going to take you literally years to process this information. So yeah, so the this U.S. chip ban is actually really huge for China. And now they're, from what you were sharing with me, is that they're trying to get Taiwan involved because Taiwan is one of the major players in the chip manufacturing field. And I think this is where things are going to get actually pretty interesting. Is we started, I forgot, I think it started with Trump when he started incentivizing silicone chip manufacturers in the United States to start, production home. Um, and it's kind of like he had the foresight to see what was coming because of this whole thing with Taiwan. And also, it also brings back jobs to the United States. But basically, when it comes to chips, we're at the forefront of this stuff. Like, we are, like, we have Google here, we have Facebook here. Like, we have NVIDIA.
But the
NVIDIA,
but the thing that worries me is the raw minerals that you need to produce these chips. Like we don't have a
yeah,
lot of that, from what I believe. Right? It's
we
like
don't have that here now, but I mean, we could pay for it from Africa, from China. Like like we don't care
you mean
what.
Taiwan? I mean, they call it Silicon Valley West. I mean, from what my understanding, from what I've been reading, is
Mm,
Taiwan is where it's at for chip production. And
yeah,
right now, what we're doing right now with this whole China controversy over Taiwan is we're helping these Taiwanese companies move their manufacturing to the United States, which is a good move. And I think I sent you that one article from the Military Times. They were saying if China did invade Taiwan, we are not going to give them any chip factors. We will destroy any freaking chip development that's in Taiwan.
yeah. Let's
Like,
bring up that article right here.
yeah,
It's
just like
the
just like how certain wars are fought over like raw minerals, through like certain states or countries or whatever. This is why I see the next controversy. It's the advancement of human civilization is AI. And if these chips is what takes you to, advance in AI, then this is like get a Frodo, you're looking for that ring, Lord of the Rings. You want that ring of power, and these chips are the ring of power.
Yeah. So here we go. So U.S. won't let China let take Taiwan chip makers. Yeah. So while speculation continues over the fate of Taiwan semiconductor factories in the event of invasion by Beijing, the importance of denying China the chip making infrastructure. Yeah, man, this is literally the future of things. I mean, this even impacts the future of quantum computing. So the next step, which a lot of people, that's what's gonna be the next step, right? Is quantum computing. Right now, we're just building on old silicon chips, and we're kind of gonna be limited when it comes to quantum computing. Everything is gonna shift. Security is gonna shift. All this stuff is gonna shift. But all this has to do with semiconductors, and it has to do with, processing power.
More advanced machines, whether
It's
it
the
be
brain.
computer
It's
draw.
literally the brain. It's like we have the intellectual property in the United States for everything that's high-end tech. Israel has all the cybersecurity tech. You know what I mean? That's how a lot of people think that we're allies with Israel for XYZ. I mean, Israel's number one when it comes to cybersecurity. Their drone technology. We are
Oh,
we
did you see that new Gatling unmanned Gatling gun they put on the fucking border with Palestine? That shit's insane.
oh no,
It's
dude.
a drone like Gatling gun.
I saw like the new bomber that they came out with, the B something. I forgot what.
The U.S. just came out. I didn't read anything on it. I saw the headline.
Yeah,
They're
me too.
a
But yeah,
B-25 or something.
but all this is made possible because, all right, so imagine I mean, there's so many applications to, it's literally, we limited the size of brain and intellect in terms of computation to China. So China's gonna literally be handicapped. It's like you're not gonna have the Einstein of chips. You're gonna be limited to an average Joe. So now what's gonna happen is this kind of chip war, where China's gonna try to innovate. China's gonna try to innovate. China now is gonna have to do their own thing.
I mean,
And
they've been stealing our shit for the longest, our intellectual property. They've been
so
stealing
that's
from.
another thing that the U.S. is banning. They're banning partners actually that do have access to our intellectual property from doing business with China. So it's not us doing direct business with China. It's China being able to acquire any of our intellectual property from even a third party that acquires it. So like there's London-based chip manufacturers, all that stuff. I mean, dude, this thing goes deep. And another interesting thing
And
is
this is bipartisan. This is what I like. I've been saying it like since Trump was
everybody
going after
hates,
China,
dude. I don't know
and
what it is
everybody's
about
on board
China.
with this. Whether you be Democrat, Republican, they're all on board.
Yeah,
Democrats a little later now because now they're like, oh, we don't want to be xenophobic or anything like that.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys are a little late to the game because you let your feelings get in the way, and we've been getting screwed over.
The whole TikTok thing and all this stuff.
Oh Jesus, man, the TikTok thing. I've been telling my freaking girl to delete that shit off her phone. I've been telling her for over a year now. I was like,
Oh, man,
China.
you're screwed. Yeah, this is a guy has a whole generation brainwashed. It has people's dude. Even the cameras, Chinese manufactured cameras. The government has officially said like, yo, they're sending that information back to their government, and they're running biometrics using your facial recognition. Imagine those baby monitors. They have a chipset from China. Guess what? They could have a back door that sends all that information from inside of your house and any conversation that you have, and you're paying for that. You're literally paying. You're literally paying for people to have access to inside of your house.
I read a thing. The Chinese base communications company. They were setting up communications in America. They have all their equipment, and you put up on the poles and shit. And what they were doing is they were bidding for contracts around new U.S. military facilities. They were bidding for contracts. Like, let's say if you got we'll use Jersey for this, Fort Dix, down in Fort Dix. They were bidding for all those contracts on all those utility poles around Fort Dix. So that way, you got all your spyware up there on the fucking poles and everything. Anything coming out of Fort Dix, you're stealing it. Anything coming out of any communications, anything, the comes and goings, you're stealing that shit. They were doing this all over, and they finally and it's up in a lot of places. I mean, a lot of states, a lot of the shit went up, and now there's a bill in Congress where I think they're trying to like take away all the it's going to take years from what I heard. All this Chinese equipment that's up on these utility poles and everything. It's going to take a long. They've been spying on us. They've been spying on us for a
Yeah,
long
for a
time.
while. Yeah, yeah. But even our own companies in our own country, like
Oh
Google.
yeah, they spy on us too.
Yeah, because all right, so I'm gonna tie two things together, and this is something that when I was back in college, one of my professors he worked on this research, and so this is gonna tie in together. So I don't know if in New York, if you've seen there's like these new like little stations with like the advertising on it. They have the free Wi-Fi. They have these little screens on them and all that stuff. They're all over the place, right? Google bought that company a couple of years ago, right? All right, now they have Wi-Fi on them. They have internet. You're allowed to plug it in. You even have Android on there. You can interface. You could use full-blown Android right on the thing, right? Plus, it runs advertising. Now,
What is
something
it, like a
that,
charging station or something like that?
dude, it's a mini computer station basically. It literally has Android on it. You can charge your phone. It has USB ports, and it even has free Wi-Fi. So that way, when you're walking around, you can just connect to these things. I think they're called Link or something like that. Anyway, Google bought this company, right? And they're all over the place in Manhattan, all over the place, right? My professor worked on a technology to use Wi-Fi to use it as X-ray to detect objects, right? So because it's radio waves, it's waves, right? X-ray is another wavelength, right? It's just different ups and downs, right? So he was able to effectively track things in a room using Wi-Fi.
That's fucking insane.
Now, recently, a company came out with that they have drones that do this Wi-Fi thing that it goes around in the area and it's able to penetrate into your home and they're able to scan everything.
Everything in your home.
Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, this Wi-Fi right here
That's
that you have
insane.
in your house, Wi-Fi there, is literally it could create a nice, perfect 3D rendering of exactly what your place is like.
That's just by using the Wi-Fi waves. That's crazy.
Wi-Fi cellular towers, because those are also waves. Just think about just another Wi-Fi, just on a pole that's a little bit more powerful, so it could go to your phone, to your receiver, which is this. You know what I mean? So they're able to track your movements. I was talking about on my own on the Instagram. I was talking about cell phone carriers, how they're allowed to track your location data. AT&T keeps your location data for up to 5 years. Your
Yeah, I know
latitude and
that.
longitude. T-Mobile 2 years. Verizon 1 year. I say that to say this stuff is going on, but we just don't want it to be China.
But you know the thing I don't understand is, I mean, I know for like advertisement purposes, why is our data? Thing is, I like our data. Like, why is it so important to these people? I understand it. I mean, it's used as a control mechanism, but it's a lot of nefarious shit going on. It's kind of scary. You got any closing statements, Phil?
Dude, it's the data is the new gold. It's the information gold, man. That's the new wave. That's how they get to run predictive things. That's how they get to target for you to buy more things and become the consumer that they love you to be and be the rat in the fucking in the wheel.
So it's
You know what I mean?
consume, consume, consume. Be brainless.
Yeah, and they want to target you and they want you to make sure that they're hitting the talking points that you want to hear and sway your decisions when it comes to election time, right? But
All right, let's wrap this on up. This was another great episode from the Luddites. You guys have a great night. Phil,
yep, take care, everybody. Appreciate y'all. And stay safe. Use a VPN. It's the internet condom.
I say destroy all computers.
Yeah, just unplug the Ethernet cord. All right, man. Take care.
Later, bruh.
Peace.